Funding for American Experience is provided by the Hilltop Tavern Memorial Fund. Chex Cafe, proudly supporting questionable decisions since 1944. Graceland. Come see Graceland before Elvis dies. The Department of Unrequested Birthday Documentaries. And by viewers like you, who apparently have nothing better to do tonight.
The story of Butch Bays and the long shadow of his bloodline reaches back to the damp soil of Indiana during the time of the Great American Fracture, the Civil War. Among his ancestors was a man named Lemuel Cyrus Bays, a humble stone carver who lent his hands to the Union cause. His duty was not to carve monuments of glory, but to chisel the names of the fallen into cold slabs of limestone. The work was endless. The dead arrived faster than his hammer could fall. In time, his hands rebelled against him. The tendons frayed, the bones screamed, and he was sent home, a casualty, not of battle, but of repetition, futility, and sorrow carved in stone. When Lemuel returned home, the war had already taken its toll not only upon the land but upon his spirit. The silence of peace was heavier than the roar of cannon. He found solace in the arms of Evangeline Moore, his childhood love, whose patience had outlasted the conflict itself. They were married in the year 1865, as the smoke of the war still clung to the horizon. Tragedy is never content with silence. It returns again and again like a vulture to the same desolate field. A year after their union, Evangeline Moore, the last light in Lemuel's weary soul, was taken by death as she gave birth to conjoined twins. The midwife whispered prayers, but the gods were deaf. Lemuel named them Butch and Orrin, not out of joy, but out of obligation, as one names a burden he must carry. In their shared flesh he saw both miracle and mockery, the universe's cruel experiment in symmetry. After years of raising the twins and watching his plans dissolve one by one, Lemuel convinced himself there was only one honorable path left. He needed money to open his monument shop, and the circus that passed through Floyd County offered a solution that was, in his words, regrettable, yet practical. And so, with a heaviness he claimed was unbearable, though history may debate this, he sold Butch and Orrin to the traveling show. In time, Butch and Orrin retired from the circus, seeking what they called a normal life, a phrase whose meaning was already beyond their reach. They married two sisters, Adelaide and Sarah Ann Moore, and settled on neighboring farms, exchanging houses each night with the punctuality of railway schedules. Through this unlikely arrangement they produced 22 children, 11 attributed to Butch, 11 to Orrin. A statistical feat that baffled doctors, clergy and neighbors alike, yet somehow became just another chapter in the grim folklore of the Bays family. Because of their astonishingly prolific offspring, the Bays lineage soon scattered across history like an unplanned experiment in human abundance. Among their more improbable descendants was Robert Bays, remembered in Floyd County as the giant who grew faster than his family could measure him. Yet in the Bays family this was viewed not as a miracle but merely another biological misunderstanding passed down through generations. Today, Bays descendants still visit the statue of the Floyd County giant who met his end at the age of 27 under circumstances both tragic and deeply avoidable. According to family accounts, he succumbed to a catastrophic splinter acquired while adjusting the wooden stilts he insisted on wearing for added height. Thus the towering legacy of Robert Bays was undone, not by illness or war, but by a single insignificant fragment of wood, proof that even giants can be defeated by the smallest injustice of nature. By the 1950s, the Bays lineage had drifted into Memphis, settling beside the restless pulse of Beale Street. There, Calvin Bays' music shop stood as a monument, not to music, but to Calvin's true devotion, the engraving of names into wood, as if permanence could defy time itself. One afternoon, a little-known young man named Elvis Presley arrived, asking only for new strings. Calvin, struck by a strange certainty that destiny had stepped inside his shop, decided to honor the boy with a carved name on his guitar. But fate, with its usual indifference, intervened. Calvin misspelled it. The guitar read ELVAS. Elvis sued, he won, and the settlement money allowed him to quit his job and make history. Thus, once again, the Bays family shaped the world not through triumph, but through a simple, catastrophic mistake. And so the winding trail of the Bays lineage carries us into the 1960s, to the unlikely birth of Butch Bays. He entered the world on March 5, 1965, not in a hospital, but in a drafty manger on the outskirts of New Albany, Indiana, a place where even the animals seemed unconvinced of the miracle unfolding before them. Legend insists that 3 wise men appeared that night, though their wisdom is questionable. They brought not gold, frankincense, or myrrh, but offerings more suited to the baby Butch, barley, yeast, and hops. Through his teenage years, Butch endured the chaos of adolescent transformation, sudden height, unexpected odors, and a voice that rose and fell like a wounded animal. His emotions swung wildly like a barn door in an Indiana storm, but from these indignities something improbable occurred. He became a handsome young man of New Albany. And so in our final chapter, Butch will encounter the 2 forces that would shape his destiny: the bewildering tenderness of human love and the cold, indifferent seduction of carved granite. Only one of them will bring him lasting peace. It was during Butch's high school years that fate, in one of its rare moments of generosity, allowed him to cross paths with the great love of his life. It was at Graceland Christian School, an institution more accustomed to bake sales than destiny. The rock singer Joan Jett enrolled for a brief and mysterious month. Their connection was immediate. 2 restless spirits drawn together by the primitive electricity of youth and the shared illusion that music could save them from the ordinary gravity of Indiana. For a moment they dreamed of a future filled with amplifiers, open roads, and harmonies sharp enough to cut through the monotony of existence. But then Butch, in a catastrophic act of sincerity, proposed a name for their band: The Uncommon Houseflies. Joan left him that very afternoon. No farewell, only the silent understanding that some ideas are too terrible to survive. Butch was shattered. In the years that followed, he poured his grief into song after song, each one a fragile echo of the life he imagined, and the love that evaporated the moment he spoke those fateful words. It took Butch less than 2 days to recover from the departure of Joan Jett, a remarkably short time considering the vast landscape of tragedy he insisted on carrying in his heart. But this is how fate operates in Indiana, with abrupt endings and even more abrupt beginnings. In that brief window of despair, he encountered Jane Moore, the great-great-great-granddaughter of the conjoined twins Butch and Orrin, figures whose legacy lingered over the region like a myth whispered in barn rafters. For reasons no historian has dared to explain, Butch felt an instant connection, as if destiny had taken the Bays family tree and twisted it into a small decorative knot. Jane Moore, whose lineage descended proudly from the conjoined twins Butch and Orrin, became the unquestioned love of his life. In Indiana, a place where ancestry is both celebrated and quietly misunderstood, their union caused no alarm. Instead, locals regarded it as a kind of rural nobility, the ancient tradition of keeping things comfortably within the family. It was shortly afterward that Butch and his brother Lauren began constructing the empire for which they are known today. An empire built not on strategy but on stubbornness and the refusal to admit confusion. And so Butch carries on raising a family and realizing the long-nurtured dream of playing music in a band called the Uncommon Houseflies, a title that continues to bewilder historians. Thus our journey concludes. In defiance of time, suffering, and the unbearable weight of existence, I will now offer the only song humanity still dares to sing with hope. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. In this bleak world, dear Butch Bays, happy birthday to you. Very well, piano player, one more verse. God help us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Another year has consumed you. Happy birthday to you. And so we conclude the known history of Butch Bays. If you do not know who I am, then this film has likely been a puzzling and unsatisfying experience for you. Perhaps you should broaden your cinematic horizons beyond Paul Blart, Daddy Daycare, and whatever other cultural detours have led you here. Speaking of cultural detours, a performance by the Uncommon Houseflies is coming up. Please be safe as you make your way to the exit. Move with purpose, but without panic. May your path home be less chaotic than the events you have just witnessed. And if you insist on viewing this film once more, you will find it on YouTube, where Tony Sesnick will charge you a fee that bears no relation to logic, ethics, or market value. Good night.